She says, today is the day you learn to write your name. And for the rest of your life, this will be a part of your life story. She told me that in life, there are things that happen to you all the time. But what will become your life story is what you choose to do when those things happen.
Hi everyone, this is Aubrey. Welcome back to my channel. A good story stays with you. It's not because they are perfect, but because they are real. My guest today, Charnsupharindr, he devoted his life helping people to lead and communicate with authenticity. Doi, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody, and thank you for having me join in this conversation today. My name is Charnsupharindr, and I've been fortunate to be a faculty here at the Haas School of Business for the past 13 years now.
Wow.
Prior to that, I spent 12 years in my career in the financial services industry, actually, in pretty much different roles from the quant side all the way to the business side, and then ending with a role in product management before I eventually decided to move into leadership development and education and coaching.
What is the people look like for the average leaders? What are the people look like they are advanced leadership or premium leadership, and what's the delta between them?
Oh, wow. That is a big question. And in a way, that is at the core of when people come to a leadership class or leadership development training. I think that's the question that each person is trying to answer for themselves. And to me, it's always this balance between what we think people look for versus what we feel internally who we want to be as a leader. And I think this is really where the space that I try to create in the classroom and even in my consulting work or coaching is to figure these two parts out. Because when we say, what is it that people are looking for? I want to acknowledge that there is part of ourselves that in a way is through our own lived experiences and growing up, through the things that we've observed around us, we might have this idea that that's what people think of what leadership is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Because for me, growing up in Thailand and then coming to school here in the United States and then eventually started working here in the United States and now going to go do some consulting work with business leaders in Asia. This question around what does a leader look like?
Yeah.
What is the expected behavior is something that I've always tried to figure that out for myself.
Yeah.
But now also in the people who I'm coaching.
Yeah.
Now, keeping in mind also that what society's perception of what leadership should look like, I think that does change over time.
Exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't stay static.
Yeah.
So in a way, we can't just hang on to one image of what that's supposed to be like, right? Our willingness to evolve with time and be open to that.
The vulnerability. So, but the leaders I met in life, they are pretty strong. They stand there, they trying to cheer people up, and then they trying to hide, they also have vulnerability. So do you have a case that the leadership you work with, it's very hard for them to open up themselves? And how will you help them?
Yeah, I think part of it is this mindset too of, I actually see vulnerability as incredible strength. For someone to be willing to be vulnerability requires a lot of courage and strength. Right? So somehow this idea that vulnerability means weakness, I don't fully understand that because it actually requires so much strength to be vulnerable. I think there's some parts of who we are then, however we define it, our natural personalities. I do believe, and then I see like people around me all the time, including friends, who some of them just have this personality where they're just easy to connect with. They have this natural positivity that attracts people. So then you want to be around them, you feel safe when you're around them. Like all of that, I think it's true. So sometimes what I feel people describe as somebody having a natural leadership quality, like they were born with it, I think some of it has to do with that, the personalities that we have. And I don't think that that automatically leads to leadership skills. Because there are skills and mindsets that we have to develop. And that part, because it is a skill, which means you could learn it, you can practice it, and figure out how to get better at it. And again, even with the skills, some of it might come naturally to us, but it doesn't mean that others cannot learn it. Like, for example, listening skills. Some people, I do believe, are born naturally just more curious. So they like to listen to people
Yeah.
because they find everything really interesting.
Yeah.
Some of us may have to practice a little bit more of that, but it is a skill that we can learn. You're going to be okay. Just keep being yourself and tell your story, the real story. Because I promise you that at the end of the day, that is the only story that will truly make sense.
I also saw one of your TED Talks, and your mom told you that what you choose to do will be part of your story. So does that inspire you when you make all these transitions of your career? Like, how do you make the choice when you are in the intersection of the different paths?
Yeah, 100%. I think like when I look back on my own journey, it almost feels like the earlier part of my life was kind of determined by other people. You know, like your parents encourage you to go to a certain school, your college counselor encourage you to apply to a certain school. And then when you're in school, your academic advisor encourages you to take certain classes, you know. And it's very, and that can even continue into the career, into the workplace. Your manager suggests you should do something. So it's very easy to fall into this mode of almost like whatever happens is just going to happen. But the truth is, when I peel back some of those moments and look at on a micro level, there are decisions that I made that I don't think I fully acknowledged when I was growing up. And so with the story that I shared in that talk is really about like being reminded that all it takes is asking yourself, when I wake up tomorrow, how do I want to be able to remember it today? Or 10 years from now, when I look back on today, what do I want to be able to remember? And say, let me do that now. So this becomes a part of my history.
But still, this is a very high pressure environment. In Silicon Valley, everybody is chasing. Then how do you persuade like people to slow down, to do self-reflection, not chasing the rewards, the glory? Yeah.
I mean, in the busyness of trying to do everything that we have in our lives, right? How do we find space even to reflect?
Yeah.
So I do believe in building in a space for that to happen. And this could literally be like our daily practice. One of the things that I ask the leaders who I work with, which is where in your day to day that you have space to reflect and have that self-awareness. So you can build that in. If the space is literally like each morning you're going to sit and meditate. Okay, if that's your daily practice, great. Some people like to go on a run at the end of the day, and that's kind of their space to be able to clear their head. And some people have a moment at the end of the day before they go to bed where they journal. Like that's another moment of self-reflection. So, and actually, even with technology these days, there are all kinds of apps that you could actually utilize to help you with that moment of self-reflection, right? But that's the key thing, to build in space for that each day. Otherwise,
Gotcha.
it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But then after a while, with any kind of habit you're building, once you've done it for a while, then it starts to become a part of your natural routine.
Right.
Right? My own personal practice is to have a moment in the morning where I reflect on three things. I call them gratitude, goals, and guidance. Take a moment to reflect on the day that's passed and just basically like give thanks for the things that I'm grateful for. And it could be as simple as like that awesome restaurant I just discovered randomly yesterday. Or even that moment of getting to watch like the sunrise this morning. It could be something as simple as that. Goals is a moment to really think about this day that's ahead for me. Like, what are the most important things I'm trying to achieve today? And that's different from what you have on the calendar. Because you can have a bunch of meetings, but that's not the goal.
That's not.
The goal is I want to make sure with these meetings here
Yeah.
that I'm able to create real connection with my customers and be able to find out how I can really help them. Okay, now that's a goal,
Yeah.
right? So getting clear for yourself, whatever you have on the calendar, what is really the goal for today? And then finally, guidance. This is a moment of where going back to the concept of the support system, the support network that you have. I actually believe that each of us have within ourselves wisdom that didn't just happen only through us. It's through our ancestors, it's through our parents, it's through our teachers, it's through our friends, and all these people we've met. So this collective wisdom that is within us. How do we have a moment and just connect back to what wisdom, what guidance can I pull so then I can achieve the goals that I'd set for myself? Berkeley Executive Coaching Institute technically is not part of Haas, even though, a lot of the faculty coaches are also faculty members at Haas or actually at other graduate schools as well. But the Berkeley Executive Coaching Institute, like what really as the core of it, we have this mantra that with everything that we teach, every project that we do, at the heart of it is really helping people be a human with a human. Be a human with a human. And I promise you, we came up with this long before the AI age. So this is not any statement like against AI or anything like that. But when we talk about leadership, when we talk about communication, when we talk about teams and organization, ultimately it's about what happens with the people who are there. So when we look at this simple statement of what does it mean to be a human, with another human, then my mission is really to help each person who we work with discover both of those things. One, what does it mean for them to be a human? And this kind of goes back to where our conversation started, in that topic around authenticity. Who are you really in the world? And how do you connect to your own humanity, your own story, your own hopes and dreams, your values, your purpose, all that is, who is this human?
Yeah.
Right? But then how do you show up in the way that you engage with other humans? Now, I'm a firm believer that with communication, with leadership, it's all about finding the right approach. And there's more than one option to how you engage with people, how you communicate. And when we study how to be a human with a human, it's all about acknowledging that we can find a way to really engage with people and make the kind of positive impact, not just for you, but for the other people too. So it's about really exploring and studying and believing that there's more than one way we can do that.
Yeah.
And given with everything that's going on right now in the world that we're seeing, I see too much of the opposite of that, which is, well, it's either my way or else we can't talk.
Yeah.
But being a human with a human is recognizing that, okay, good, you understand about yourself, but how much do you understand of this other person? Because that understanding allows us to find a path
Yes.
to be able to connect and coexist together in the world.
Yeah.
And I think that's at the core of our work, my work in the world, and what I try to do now.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you. Thanks, Doi, to share us all the insight about authenticity, about leadership, and about the coaching. Really appreciate. I learned a lot myself, and hopefully I can get more communication with you. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.